Sam, hi, it's Tom Anderson at Connecticut Audubon. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing just great. I thought I'd check in to find out about preparation for your presentation, Thursday, February 10 at 12:30 p.m. This will be the second in this year's Young, Gifted, and Wild About Birds, and I'm looking forward to it. Tell me what you are planning to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll be talking about some findings coming out of my dissertation. I'm finishing up my dissertation currently at the University of Connecticut, and my research is all about nest flooding in tidal marsh bird nests. So a lot of you are probably familiar with, if you're birding in Connecticut, about the salt marsh sparrow and the salt marsh sparrow's decline. So when I started my dissertation, I was wondering, the salt marsh sparrow we know is declining pretty quickly from sea level rise, but there are other species that nest in the marsh and are theoretically dealing with the same nest flooding conditions arising from increased sea level. So how are they faring, and why are they faring differently than the salt marsh sparrow? So I'll be presenting on that from a number of different aspects for 4 species: the salt marsh sparrow, seaside sparrow, willet, and clapper rail, how they behave during nest flooding events, where they put their nests and how they structure them, and how chicks respond to nest flooding in an experimental framework. So.
What are the will you talk about the conservation implications of your research?
Yeah, definitely. So a big reason for asking these questions is, if all these species have been faring a little bit differently in the past couple of decades, do they have different adaptive capacities? I want to understand what kind of existing mechanisms these species have to deal with sea level rise, or do we really need to step in and help all of them? So I'm going to talk a little bit about what my research is demonstrating about that, and talk about what sorts of conservation we're doing on the ground to help these species.
I'm assuming that because sea level is rising, and also because you wrote about it for our State of the Birds a couple of years ago, that these species are not necessarily doing particularly well because they've got to deal with increasing levels of water.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, if you're an adult bird, you can move around, you can fly away. But if you have your nest on the ground in a system where, there's not a lot of shrubs or trees, your nest's going to be close to the ground, it's going to get wet. And it depends how wet it gets and how often. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about how these birds deal with that, and how we've seen some really quickly declining and some doing okay so far. But currently the Salt Marsh Habitat and Avian Research Program, which I'm a collaborator in, and Fish and Wildlife Service is working to do a massive resurvey effort from Maine down to Virginia, in marshes, to understand, from surveys we did 10 years ago, are we seeing the same trends for all these species, or are some of the species like willets and seaside sparrows that were doing okay 10 years ago, have they started to decline, or are they still doing okay?
Very interesting. And what will people see? What will you have to show them in terms of photos, videos?
Yeah, so a lot of photos of a lot of different birds at different stages, so adults and chicks. And one cool thing about my talks is that, with my behavioral research during these nest flooding events, I captured over 400 hours of video footage of what these birds do during these really high tide events at night. So I'll be showing a number of videos that demonstrate what the birds do, and why it's important.
Sounds great. I would just want to put us back to that view and go back here, show people from a couple of years
Yeah.
ago, Connecticut State of the Birds. Your article is in here, and
Yep.
members have gotten a copy of this if they haven't saved it, which would be a terrible mistake. They can find it on our website and sort of review what it is that you're working on and the difficulties that you had during that year of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. Thursday, February 10th, 12:30. Really looking forward to it. And thanks for taking time to get on now. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks so much, Tom.
Okay, see you then. Bye-bye.